Hi, I'm Bob Raybould. Today we're going to talk about how to use the tool that's described in my book, Success by Emotions. It's such a different experience that it takes most people a while to learn to use it. And so I'd suggest you start on a very small goal. Think about the past. When you were 4 or 5, you could paint. Everybody can. Now as we get older and we think about painting, we get a kind of a tightness in our throat. That's because of the false ideas that we've got. To be a painter, we have to be very good instead of just have fun. These false ideas have been accumulated. Most of them have come being passed down to us from our ancestors, the ancestors of our friends, the ancestors of our teachers, the ancestors of our associates. And so we've got this pile of false ideas telling us we can't do something that we have the ability to do, or telling us we don't want to do something that's in our best interest. We can fight through them like we do in traditional growth. You've done it before. I'm sure you've struggled to accomplish something, maybe many things. If you're like me, when I was trying to sell insurance, I just struggled so much I quit. Went to use my MBA and went to work for a large corporation. But then I decided I really have more ability than I'm showing. I just got to figure out how to do it. And I found Success by Emotions. It's pretty simple. We set a goal, have a completion date. The completion date is very important. And then we think of something we're going to be doing after we have achieved our goal. It may be as simple as just holding the sheet we fill out about our goal. On that sheet, we write down the goal, the completion date, and then a second thing we write down you've never written down before, the completion date for step 4. And I'll get to that. Then we write down 2 or 3 benefits we're going to have because we've achieved this goal, and 2 or 3 or 4 emotions we're going to be feeling after we've achieved the goal. Now, I almost said when, but I mean after. There's a space between the time you achieve your goal, maybe a day, maybe a week, maybe an hour, and then there's the after you've achieved your goal. And what we're focusing on is accumulating emotions around the after. If you've listened to the other video, you remember that my after was driving a Porsche. My goal was to 4 times my income, but my after was different. Driving a Porsche has nothing to do with increasing my income. It had to do with after. When I do it now, most of the time I'm just filling out a new sheet and talking about the after. And the after is just holding this sheet, celebrating that I've achieved my goal, that I see myself as a new person. The process is accumulating emotions. I read the goal, then I read the emotions that I've written down. Then I read the first benefit, then I read the emotions I've written down. Then I read the next benefit, then I read the emotions I've written down. Then I reach the next benefit, then I read the emotions I've written down. And sometimes I read the emotions 4 or 5 times before I go back to the next to see the benefit. And in time, I know what the goal is, I know what the benefits are, and I just keep reading the emotions. It's every time we read an emotion, we gain a little unit of weight for that emotion. And those units build up, and in time, we get to the point where when we begin, the scale is tipped against us. When we succeed, the scale is tipped towards truth. The truth is that we can achieve our goal. When it's tipped the other way, when it's tipped against us, our mind can't help us. When it's tipped in favor of truth, our mind can help us. You see, when it's tipped against us, we're convinced we can't succeed, or we're convinced that succeeding is going to be difficult. When it's tipped in favor of us, that's the big change, because now our mind knows we're going to succeed and has to help us figure out a way how to do it. That's where the real power comes from. And our minds are incredible. Once our mind starts helping us, it just kind of pulls the whole universe into helping us. Circumstances seem to change. Opportunities pop up. It was incredible when I first started doing this. Now, you don't want to start with a big goal. You want to start with a small one. Because the first time you're doing this, you're not only fighting against the false ideas that are telling you you can't succeed, you're fighting against a whole nother group that is saying, you don't want to use this tool. This tool won't work. This guy that's talking is full of crap. And you have to fight through both sets of those false ideas to succeed the first time you use the tool. Then after that, you're only fighting through the false ideas that are telling you can't achieve your goal. There are 4 steps that you go through as you're accumulating emotions. The first time you go through the sheet, maybe 2 or 3 times, you'll feel a little bit of a change, a little bit better, a little bit happier. This means you're at step 1, which is you believe you're going to achieve your goal. Then you just keep accumulating emotions, these same emotions over and over and over again. And maybe 6 or 8 times through the sheet, you'll begin on a small goal. You'll begin to have convinced yourself. You'll go from believing to being convinced you're going to achieve your goal. Then comes the next step, getting to step 3, and that's harder. You're going to just keep accumulating emotions, saying these same words over and over and over again. Each time you say one, you add a little more weight and come a little more close to flipping the teeter-totter or the scale or whatever towards truth. And as you accumulate enough, as you do this long enough, just keep accumulating these emotions. Saying these words is how we accumulate emotions. And as you say a word, try to feel it more deeply. Some people pause and really think about the words. They may take 5 seconds for each word. Some people may take a half a minute for each word. Me, I go through them pretty rapidly. I can go through a list of 4 emotions about 10 times in a minute, just saying the emotions. Whatever works for you is just great. Some people like to add music. That helps them. There are other ways that we discuss later in the book where you can actually move to the zone of accumulating emotion. That helps. And then you get to step 3. And when you're at step 3, you have totally flipped the scale in favor of truth. And that's when your mind jumps in and starts to help you. And when your mind helps you, it makes achieving easier, possible, fun, happy. In fact, the way you know you're at step 3 is that you just feel happy. You're just excited. And at the same time you jump to step 3, you've jumped to step 4. Step 4, you're so confident you'll succeed. You know you'll succeed. And you're willing to do whatever it takes, and you're happy to do it. But it's all about continuing to accumulate emotions. And after you're at step 4, you keep accumulating emotions. But that's a point you want to reach. With a small goal, you may reach it the first day or 2 days. With a large goal, like with my first goal, it took me 3 weeks to get to step 3 and 4. But it's just a process of staying with it, keeping at it, keeping accumulating emotions. Because when you're there, your mind's helping you, and the whole universe seems to step in and help you. Circumstances change, opportunities pop up, people come up and ask, can I help you? Or what are you doing? Let's do it. It's an amazing thing. You feel like you're going from point 1 to point 2, from beginning to your goal in a jet plane, because it's so happy, so fun, and so easy. And I know you can do it. Have fun. It's a great opportunity.